this is Mr. Dharma, and today we're going to talk about basic integration. We're going to look at it through the lens of polynomials, because polynomials are the first functions we learnt to differentiate, so maybe they're a good place to start for learning to integrate. So when we learnt polynomials, they were in the form y equals x squared plus 4x plus 6, and they could have had higher powers, but for us this was enough. And we learnt to differentiate them by doing multiply by the power then take one away from the power. And this was really important to us because it helped us do a lot of differentiation. We then came along and we added a bit more, and we called this the chain rule or the bracket rule, and it was then multiply by the derivative of the inside. And I'm going to just put inside in quote marks because it's a strange inside. We had like a function and we talked about the derivative of the inside, and the inside changed depending on the type of function we had. But that's good enough for now. What I want to do is I want to try and see if we can come up with what the opposite of this is, because that's what we're going to use for integration. So here we are. What's the opposite of take away 1 from the power? It's add 1 to the power, and that's our first step. To the power then what's the opposite of multiply? Divide. So we're going to divide by the, not power, but the new power, because we have changed the power, right? And then there's this green bit that we're going to deal with later, but let's try this out and see if it actually works. Let's use this function that we've just written and see if we can differentiate and then integrate back to the same thing. So there's x squared plus 4x plus 6. Let's differentiate. So dy by dx is equal to multiply by the power, take 1 off the power, multiply by the power, take 1 off the power. The 6 disappears because it differentiates to 0. Now if we were to do this backwards and try to integrate, we get y equals add 1 to the power, divide by the new power, add 1 to the power, divide by the new power, and then we're missing the 6. And so what we can do is we can simplify this and we get x squared plus 4x, but we're missing the 6. And so what happens is, in differentiation, you lose information. And in integration, we try to get that back, but we need to have more information to get that information back. So, on our integration, always we add this extra bit, which is and add c, a constant. Okay, if you forget to add this constant, you might not be able to continue and work out the equation the same way. And so we add c, and that's really, really important in integration. Okay, now some of you are asking, but sir, how do we deal with this green part? And your answer is, yeah, we have to deal with the green part. And the green part, or the bracket rule, can be done in a very similar way to how we did it up there. And we'll have a look at this example. Okay, so let me just write the c's here. So every time you integrate, you plus c. But we're going to do that as the last step. So let me just move this away, and we'll try and do the opposite for this green part. So I'm going to write the same thing. Then, instead of multiplying, I'm going to write divide by the derivative of the once again inside. But there's a small issue here on this inside. Okay, and this inside, as long as the inside is linear, right? That's really important to us in level 3. Okay, we need to make sure the inside is linear. Okay, and then of course you can bring this and plus c back again, and that will make everything wonderful. So that seems like a lot, but let's have a go. Alright, so let's consider this question. dy by dx is equal to 2x plus 7. To integrate, we add 1 to the power, divide by the new power, and then divide by the derivative of the inside, which is same as multiplying on the denominator. And then we've got to do this plus c. So the derivative here is 2x plus 7 all to the 3 over 6 plus c. So that's how you integrate things with brackets. This is called the bracket rule of integration. So in our next video, what we'll look at is integrating other functions and see if we can follow the same kinds of rules. And I will also specify what's happening with this linear business and why that changes things. All right. Thank you.